And we'll get to those right now, beginning with Don in Mount Lebanon, or Mount Washington, I'm sorry. What's up, Don? How are you?
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
We're good, thanks.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the Penguins. A good game tonight, and there was some game on Saturday, too, when they lost 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
But Saturday night, I met your daughter, and I was talking to her because she was at the game Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great meeting her, and I told her about me, and when I met you and everybody, and I love the station, and I just love everybody down at the station,
Well, I
too.
appreciate that, Don. Thank you, and I'm sure Selena had a nice time meeting you. Gene, one thing he mentioned, the shot domination. Over the last 2 games, the Penguins have outshot the opponents. 2 good ones, Edmonton and Boston, 97-54. So they're generating a lot of scoring opportunities.
They are. They did against the Oilers and lost that game in overtime. That was not really a justified result. I thought the Penguins played the better game.
But Mike Smith was outstanding in goal, and when you get a good goaltender, that will change things. All right, we have a lot of tweets about pass interference, and this is going to be not only a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly conversation, I suppose. Impeach something, I don't even know the name of this. We'll just call him Impeach on Twitter. He says, Tomlin's second pass interference challenge was ludicrous. Vinatieri bailed him out. I would agree with that only because the first one I thought was a good one because I thought the ball was not catchable. I didn't know if that left the rule book or not.
What was the second one?
The second was when it was a pass completion to Zach Pascal, who did a nice toe tap. Tomlin challenged for a push-off, offensive PI.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I thought that was reaching at that point. Plus, you need to conserve timeouts, I would think, in that situation.
Now, it might not have been Mike Tomlin, don't forget. He's got help this year.
He does. But their challenge as a team, I wouldn't have done it after the first one failed. And early in the game, Frank Wright failed on a PI. They're all failing.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows. I mean, I've been watching this a long time, and there were 2 instances yesterday where I was sure it was going to be something that it was not. I just don't think anybody knows anymore. I don't think the officials know. And it all goes back to what, Bob?
It goes back to the game in New Orleans last year.
No, it all goes back to replay.
Oh, replay.
Took replay out of the game. You wouldn't have this.
You know, it's funny because over the years there have been blown calls. Teams have lost championships because of blown calls, but you just understood it was part of the game.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you do. Now, what happens, it becomes an internal thing in the, the owners, the players, everybody wants change.
A lot of jobs involved in it.
Yeah, it's too many. And Mike Thomas also says on Twitter, should coaches even bother challenging this anymore? Most worthless rule ever adopted. Makes you wonder if the New Orleans Rams play last year would have been reversed under this rule. Oh, it would have. That was egregiously bad, and that's what cost this thing going. All right, let's go out to line 5. That's John in Castle Shannon. John, welcome to the Sports Call. Go ahead.
Hi, Bob. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks.
You look very nice. Hey, Gene, nice to see you, sir. I haven't seen you since the Post-Gazette.
Thank you.
So my question is, you think the defense will be able to pull the offense out of the slumps?
Well, they got to carry him is what they need to do. And they've done that to a large degree. They have 22 forced turnovers this year. Last year, that was a major problem with them. Now they're getting them, but the offense is not coming through on a regular basis.
Yeah, they're getting turnovers, they're getting sacks. This game was the first game in 6 where the opposing quarterbacks had a decent passer rating. They'd held 5 to 82 or below, I think. The teams are going to move the ball in the NFL. There's no, you're not going to shut people down the way New England had up until last night. But defense is not the Steelers' problem. Offenses.
Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick's made big plays. What about Bud Dupree? It's going to cost somebody big money, I would think. He's having a contract year and a big one.
Absolutely. His walk here is really good.
Yeah, do you wonder if you should invest in that long term if maybe, he's playing because of the money, I'm sure. He realizes what's at stake, but sometimes when you get the money, and I'm not saying Bud's like this, I'm just saying it can be human nature that you get the money and then you're not the same player again.
Yeah, no, I mean, good luck to Bud. I mean, I hope he makes a lot of money, but I mean, he's not somebody that I would invest in personally. I mean, I just think he's too up and down in his career.
We go out to Pete in Squirrel Hill, who joins us right now live. What's up, Pete?
Hey, guys, how are you tonight?
We're good.
Pete.
All right, hey, Bob, listen, I don't know if it's me, but between the Steeler game yesterday and the Penguin game tonight, it's like officiating is getting worse. In hockey, they must not be following the puck. Guys are getting hit in the face with a stick, struggling for pucks. Guys with the puck are getting tripped. Yesterday, Did we ever get an explanation, Bob, on a 15-yard personal foul penalty on Brian Switzer on that punt return? He didn't signal for a fair catch.
No, it was a bad call. It should not have been. I think the man thought he made helmet-to-helmet contact, but Switzer went down almost into a fetal position, didn't he?
And one question for you, Gene. You've been around a long time and everything. Has there ever been a brother combination in NFL football like the Bosa brothers? They are two absolute wrecking balls. And I was wondering, has there anybody been brothers in football like that?
How about the Watt brothers?
Yeah, they're very good too. No, I can't remember anybody other than the Watt brothers. They're pretty fresh in my memory.
Yeah, I look at, we were talking today on the radio about MVP of the NFL right now. My pick at this point would be Russell Wilson, just because I think he's meant so much to the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone called in and said Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not ready to go there with him because I think San Francisco is a team that is based mostly on defense, and their defense has set up their offense.
Yeah, no, I think Russell Wilson's been tremendous. I think he has 22 touchdowns and 1 interception, 378 yards yesterday and 5 interceptions and a win in overtime. Beat the Steelers here. He's been terrific.
What about Christian McCaffrey? I mean, you talk about one important person for Carolina.
Yeah. Great year.
There are a lot of good players out there. We'll see how it goes. All right, line 3, Sean in Beaver County joins us right now on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Sean, go ahead.
Hey, Bob. Hey, I just want to tell you, man, I've been watching you since you got started, Mr. Collier. I read your stuff for years, and it's an honor
Thanks.
to be able to speak to you guys.
Thank you.
I mean, hey, what's going on with the WPL? I know I was in a hospital in Pittsburgh a couple of times. What happened to the WPIAL with the football around here? I mean, there's like nobody covering it. Is it over?
No, I mean, we cover it. I mean, I think every outlet does what they have to do with it. Thank you for the call. We carry games on CW. In fact, we have another one coming up this Friday night. Jared Barton will be doing the job. He's done a wonderful job handling the play-by-play with Chris Snyder. They'll be doing the game between North Allegheny and Pine Richland semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to TV. I can only tell you about the Post-Gazette. We don't have as many hard copies as we used to have, but we're covering high school football as extensively as ever. Mike White continues to be the hardest working man in show business.
He's unbelievable, yeah.
So I think the coverage is out there. I don't know if attendance is as robust as it used to be, but there are a lot of different reasons for that.
All right, we're due for a break. We'll take it 412-575-2600. That's the number to call. Let us know what you think right here live on Pittsburgh CW.